Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LTH product briefing. I'm Nikki Shaver, the CEO at Legal Tech Hub, and I'm here today with Jason McCullagh from Upland. Jason is the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships, but has held many roles over his 10 years with Upland. Welcome, Jason.
Good afternoon.
Jason, I'm really looking forward to this. I have been familiar with BA Insight over the years, but I know it's changed quite dramatically recently, so I look forward to that. For those who perhaps are less familiar, can you tell them a little bit about BA Insight, what it is, and how it's evolved recently?
Yes, so BA Insight is an organization that improves the search experience of your organizational content. We create that single point of entry for you to access the information that you have access to at source. And the way it's evolved over the years is that traditionally, and a couple of years ago, we'd be talking about keyword search. You single word or a couple of words in the search engine, get your results back, security trimmed, of course, and then you would search and refine, find documents, find matters, find clients, etc. Of course, some incredibly intelligent people have created that idea of ChatGPT that has transpired and moved into the working world now. So people want those human-like search experiences behind the firewall across your organizational content.
So BA Insight is one of the products that Upland owns. And BA Insight is what many people would have considered to be an enterprise search system. Now it sounds like it's really moved into search plus layers of insight and even generative AI-driven actions. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, because I would think that enterprise search was somewhat seen as a cul-de-sac or a dead end. You'd find the information, a document, etc., but then you'd have to take that and do something else with it. Whereas now we're creating not only the single point of entry to find the information, be it documents or answers to the questions that you ask, but you can take that and do something with it. It's that real moving from retrieval AI to generative AI, and now we're also moving into the world of agentic AI, so things are done automatically for you. So it's a real process that we're going through.
So it's allowing you to get from retrieval of information to insights and action without the context switching.
Exactly. You don't have to, I call it system hopping. So you don't go from one application to find this and then do something else here. It's all in that central window.
Fascinating and sounds really powerful. Jason, let's take a look. I can't wait to see.
I'd like to start by just talking you through the school process, if you will, before we go into the demonstrations. I've just got a single slide. I'm going to talk you through what happens from a theoretical perspective and the background. So you have content in different applications around your organization. And as I mentioned, system hopping. You don't want to go from application A to B to C and hoping and praying that you find the information that you're looking for. Why? The trouble in that world is that one, you spend hours looking for information. Two, there might be applications out there that you don't know even exist, so you don't go and look for the information. And three, if there is an application you know exists but you don't have access to, well, how do you retrieve that information? So on this slide, we're using our AI enablement platform and our activity hub, and you'll see that in the green in the top right-hand corner, is that we take the content from different applications and add it into a search engine or a search index. I'll call out that we are technology agnostic from various perspectives. So search engines are one of them. So we work with Elastic, we work with the Microsoft technologies such as the Graph or Azure AI Search. We work with Solar, the AWS technologies, OpenSearch and Kendra. And when we take that content, we push it into a search engine. But more importantly, as we push it into the search engine, we prepare it using the auto classifier. We get it ready. So from a retrieval augmented generation perspective or a human language perspective, we break that up into smaller pieces. We winterize it so it makes it easier to find the information that you're looking for. We, as you can see on this slide, we talk about language models, and we've evolved from the large language model to small language model and sector specific model, because organizations are not just using that single language model now, they're integrating multiples of them. And you can see again on the slide here that we work with Azure AI or Bedrock or Copilot, Falcon, whatever language model, and new ones are coming out all of the time, we will integrate with those. So if you've got the content, you've prepared it, but very much what people like to see in the sexy piece is that exposure of that information. And again, we give you choice of language models, choice of where it's indexed into, and choice of user experience. So the easy one to talk about is that if you have your own UI, you can integrate with our APIs. We have a UI, and I will show you that in a demonstration in a second, and you can utilize that. It's very easy to be changed to make it look and feel like your organizational CSS and look and feel brand. But what if you want to integrate it with technologies that already exist out there, such as Copilot for M365 or Gemini from the Google stack or other AI technologies? We can do that, and we can expose it in the form of a traditional search or a hybrid search, something else I'll show you in a second, or in that more agentic-like experience, which people are moving into now, where agents do things for you automatically based on triggers and actions. The one thing that encompasses this entire slide is security. It's vital that we only index and provide access to the content that you have at source. So if you can see information within iManage, in NetDocs, in a SharePoint experience, then you will get answers, documents, matters, and clients back within your results. If you don't, then we don't break ethical walls. So security underpins everything that we do from a search experience.
Interesting. It really looks like you can optimize your search and AI experience in many ways because the system is interoperable with integrations with what model you use, and also allows users to make choices about how the data is actually used and filtered through the AI. That's great.
Let's have a look at this in action. So I'm going to start with that traditional like search experience. This is our user interface. It's very akin to the internet like search experiences because simple logo in the middle, you've got a simple search bar in here. I can click in the drop down and you see my previous searches. I can pin them, I can delete them, etc. I'm going to type a couple of keywords in here, go away, and it will return me a set of search results. Now, the first thing to note is on the left-hand side, we have a set of, and note this is a demo environment. It's all contextual to the organizations where we deploy them. And these are dynamic, meaning that if I change my search query, I get a different set of refiners on the left-hand side. I can see that I have content coming from a whole host of different applications here, and clicking on one of these refinement options will refine my result. But we have 223 results here, and I can assure you that nobody in today's world scrolls down and clicks on page 2, page 3, page 4, etc. For why is that? Because what they're looking for is they want to get the result that is pertinent to the query that they've executed, and they want that to be in the top 2 or 3 results at the top of the search results page. How do I know whether these results are the right results for me? Of course, I can click on the results, I can download it, I can open it, but that's time consuming. So what we can do is we can tell you whether the information that you're seeing here is the right information. I can do that in various ways. Firstly, I can click on the insight and I can get information about that particular document. It's metadata. We can use AI here to create summaries of what that document is about. The second thing that I can do is I can click on this little icon here, and this will generate me a preview of that particular document. Notice that we have hit highlighting here, and it's stemming hit highlighting. So it adds in things, it makes it plural, it adds the and onto the end of the word, etc. So it's not particular to the query, it's advancing of the query itself. Now, I found a document, I think it's great, but I want to know whether this particular document is the document that's right to me. So I can come in here and I can just do another search in here, and it will tell me other pages. Hopefully you can see that I've hit highlighted here. It's not impacted the query that I've done at source, or the same information. I'm just doing another search within this document, and I can click on another page here, and it will take me directly to that particular page. And you can see those words are highlighted. This is a 10-page document. It's quite chunky, but I'm not interested in the entire document. I may be only interested in a particular page. I may be interested in just a single snippet of information within this document. I can highlight it and I can add it to my workspace. Jason has a workspace. Everybody in the organization has a workspace. I can, as I said, add the page or the entire document to my workspace, and I can download a copy or I can email a copy of this document. I'll pause there because when I say email, what I really mean is email a link of that document. Remember right at the start, we talked about ethical walls and the ability to only lock down the information that you can see at source. So I email a link of this document. If I emailed you this link, you clicked on link, you don't have access, we're not breaking any security or any ethical walls. So this is me finding information. In the top right-hand corner here, you'll see my workspace, and in a second we will see that I have snippets from various documents, and I can select these snippets or entire pages, entire documents, and I can start to curate a new document based on the information that I have found here: Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. So even before the generative AI explosion came about, we were thinking about how taking search to the next level. It wasn't just a cul-de-sac, you were starting to create things from that information. And there are lots of other things that we can do here. We can train and tune the experience so that when a user scrolls down here, clicks on these particular documents, X amount of number of users have done that, therefore we boost it to the top of the search results page. We can add in personalized results. results. So I'm out of the UK, show me UK specific information. It's not changing what I see overall, it's just boosting certain documents to the top of the search results page. This is traditional like search.
And Jason, I imagine the columns you have at the top, media, people, matters, expertise, that would be configurable by the firm or department based on the systems that they're integrating as well.
Absolutely. So these verticals are purely examples. And what happens is these are just pre-canned searches. So I can come into here and I click on this and it shows me matters based on my original query, but they can be whatever you like. That's an administrative task. And that's an interesting point you make there, Nikki, because we also have the ability from an end user perspective, train and tune the results as well, because it shouldn't be a purely IT driven thing. Users need to have that control as well. So in here, I can click on personalization and you can see that I can set my preferences. So I can say, today I'm in the London office and I want to see London information. Next week, I'm going to the US, therefore I want to see information that's pertinent from the Boston office. I can boost results based on where my query is in the title. So there's a whole host of user controls, plus the admin side as well, that enable you to get better search results.
That's clever.
2025, the world of search has most certainly changed. And this is something that I loaded up before because I want to talk you through the experience. Now, notice the difference in my query. I've performed a question, still get those search refinement options that we talked about before, pin them, delete them, etc. But in this case, I've asked a question and the assistant, which can be named whatever you'd like it to be named, provides me with an answer to the query that I've asked, or the question that I've asked. Hallucination, big thing in today's world, certainly when we're talking about generative AI and assistance. So here we have a link of where that information comes from. I can preview that so it takes me back not just to the document, but to where in the document that information comes from. So we're supporting and almost justifying, if you will, where the answer to that question comes from. The clever part is that the language model can then understand what I'm asking and provide me contextual suggestions of follow-up. So I can click on this, it gives me answers to give me another answer related to the original query that I've executed. I can type in free text here and ask questions, so I don't have to rely purely on the language model. And here's a little bit of that generative approach. So this is a summary, but I can do it in step-by-step instructions. It will reformat the information that we're going to see. Here we go. So it's in step-by-step. I can do it in a summary view, and I can also do it in a bullet point format. I can even tabularize this information where it makes sense. A phrase that we often hear is human in the loop. So this is all AI driven from a language model, but what if I want to verify this? Or what if I just simply want to talk to a human being about the question? Here we can do is we can connect with an admin because the information that I'm seeing I shouldn't see, it's incorrect, I'm breaking security policies, so we can rectify that. But equally, I can connect with a topic expert. That's keeping the human in the loop, because at the end of the day, there's still a need for humans to interact together. It shouldn't just be about computers and language models and all of those other buzzwords around the world. So here I can connect with a topic expert. It understands who that topic expert is based on the query that I've executed, and I can talk to them in the world of Teams, in Slack, in send them an email, all sorts of communicative ways. You can even, if you so wanted, you could have some telephone set up so you could speak to them on the phone. But as I keep mentioning, there's still a need for that keyword search. So I call this a hybrid approach. At the top here is the question and answer scenario. But as I scroll down here, it's doing a keyword search and I can still get information. We've excluded the noise words here. And all of the stuff that I showed you on the first screen is available here. So metadata, previews, save and download, even favoriting this information. Because especially in legal, I still feel there's a need for just typing in a matter number and getting that matter back, or just typing in a client name and getting that client back.
It's so interesting. It's very similar to what you're seeing Google do, right? Where you ask a question, now you get a generated answer as well as the results. So you get both, which is quite useful. Yeah, bringing different types of search together.
I'd love to say that we did it before Google, but I can't claim that. I want to take you to where things are starting to move now in the third world. That we've moved from retrieval to generative to agentic, where things are done for you. I'm going to show you a particular type of technology, which is Microsoft M365 Copilot. But it doesn't have to be Copilot. Oops, I just start on this one. It doesn't have to be Copilot. We work with other AI tools as well. And the reason I want to start here is because Copilot traditionally runs on SharePoint Online and OneDrive content. But what we are doing is we're expanding the scope of how this works. So we're integrating iManage documents and other legal applications, plus using our other connectors, those Copilot experiences with other applications around the organization. I'm just going to grab a quick query here. I'm just going to paste it in, the speed. and it goes away and it will perform its magic. It will perform its generative AI. It's not going to bring me answers back purely from SharePoint and OneDrive. It's going to extend out into other, in this instance, if everything's working okay, then we're going to see information coming from iManage, and I'll just let it finish. And what we can do here is if I hover over this and it's coming from NetDocs in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that the URL points to a net document, but it could be iManage. It really doesn't matter. It depends on the connector that you are using. That is the Copilot chat experience. But on the right-hand side here, we have this idea of agents. Agents designed specially in Copilot and extensibility, perform specific actions, perform on specific sets of content and specific sets of users. The idea here is that you work in a particular area of legal practice area, or your role revolves around a particular matter or a particular client. You can hone the information that is returned using an agent. So in our world, connector takes only the precedent libraries relating to XYZ and pushing them into an index, and then you perform generative actions over the top of that. So if I was to click on this guy here, it tells me that this is a legal draft non-complete clauses. I've made the person's job easier because we've created some example prompt. I click on the prompt here and it's variable. So instead of me having to write out that entire prompt every single day, because I do this job all of the time, I can just literally type in like that, and it could be anywhere, it could be any example, and it goes away and it's going to create me a draft based on the query that I've done for this particular area of law or the country or whatever the case may be. And I'm agreeing to do this. I say, yep, I actually do want to do it, and it will go away and it will use all of the information that's been added into the Microsoft Graph using our cutters, and it will perform that real generative approach.
So Jason, just to be clear, previously we were seeing Copilot, now we're seeing BA Insight operating but integrated into products or branded in different ways. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, that's correct. So what we started out with was here, on a new chat. This is Copilot. So what we started out with Copilot Chat. So that's just performing general actions, and we've extended that to include content from iManage and NetDocs and a whole host of different applications. In this example, what I'm doing is I'm using an agent because I'm performing specific actions on a specific set of content. You're right, it's still BA Insight. In this world, we're taking information from those applications, high value content, and pushing it into the Microsoft Graph. This is just an example technology. We obviously work with other technologies. And then when you have that information in the graph, you can perform those generative actions, those Copilot experiences directly from within that agent itself. You can create as many agents as you like. We help with that.
That's great. So companies or firms themselves can actually build their own custom agents, and BA Insight helps them do that.
Exactly that, yes.
That's very cool. This is fantastic. It was really interesting to see the way that the search has evolved, still retaining its original strengths, but now is so much more powerful and is able to do so much more.
I think it's the journey of search. It has evolved, and it's had to really to keep up with demands and requirements. And I still believe that the world of enterprise search is still a thing. It's just enterprise search with AI, and hence what we have at Upland BA Insight is that AI enablement platform for you to choose the platform that's right for you to perform the actions that you need to complete your working tasks.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you so much, Jason, for being here today and for showing us that.
Thank you very much for having me.
We will put a URL as usual along the bottom of the screen so that you can reach out to Jason and the rest of the Upland team and find out more. As Jason said, this is technology that works regardless of the document management system you have, regardless of the systems that you want to connect to it. Very cool. Excited to have seen that today. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.